I'm Diane Kroon. Like many women, I dream of making a positive difference in my community. I believe that every young woman deserves the opportunity to discover her talents, build confidence, and create a better future. With passion, determination, and a strong desire to help others, I've taken the first steps toward turning my dream into reality. But like many social entrepreneurs, I soon discovered that creating change is only the beginning. How can I build a project that not only starts strong, but continues to grow and create a lasting impact? Join me on my journey as I explore the path to building a sustainable social project.
In this first lesson, we will bridge the gap between passion and lasting impact, explore the resources every social project needs, and define the core principles of sustainable financing. Hi, and welcome. I'm so glad you've joined us as we begin this journey into sustainable financing for social projects. Many social projects begin with something very simple, a desire to make a positive difference. Whether you want to support young people, strengthen your community, protect the environment, or help others build new opportunities. Every meaningful project starts with a vision. But turning that vision into lasting impact requires more than passion alone. Every social project depends on resources. These might include funding, materials, volunteers, partnerships, or meeting spaces. It also includes people willing to share their knowledge and skills. Without these resources, even the best ideas can struggle to continue. This is where sustainable financing becomes important. It means building a project that can continue creating impact over time. Sustainable financing is about making thoughtful use of different types of resources and planning for the future. Think of your project as a garden. Planting the seeds is only the beginning. To continue growing, the garden needs ongoing care. In the same way, your social project needs continuous support if it is to grow and serve your community for many years. You may remember Diane from our introduction. She started with a simple idea, empowering young women by teaching them jewelry making. Her vision inspired others, but she quickly realized that building a lasting project would require careful planning and sustainable support. Throughout this module, you'll follow Diane's journey as she discovers practical ways to build a project that creates lasting impact. As you begin thinking about your own social project, ask yourself, what resources will my project need to continue making a difference? And how can I begin planning for long-term sustainability from the very beginning? In our next lesson, we'll explore the many different funding and resource opportunities available to help your social project grow and thrive. Lesson 2. Exploring funding and resource opportunities. Hi, so glad you're here. Today, we're going to explore the many different ways a social project can obtain the resources it needs to grow and thrive. Today, we'll look at why successful social projects think beyond simple grants, and how a diverse resource network creates long-term resilience. When many people think about financing, they immediately think about grants. Grants are certainly an important source of funding, but they are only one piece of the puzzle. Grants are a great start, but relying solely on them can be risky. You need a complete puzzle to build a sustainable organization. Successful social projects usually combine different types of support. These can include grants, donations, sponsorships, income generated through products or services. Direct funding can come from many directions, including donors, partners, and even your own customers. In-kind contributions such as donated equipment or meeting space, volunteers who contribute their time and expertise, and partnerships with community organizations, businesses, schools, or government agencies. Beyond cash, your community offers incredible resources like time, space, and expertise that are just as valuable. Each of these resources strengthens your project in a different way. Think of your project as a table. If the table stands on only one leg, it is unstable and can easily collapse. A project dependent on a single funding source is like a table with one leg, vulnerable to the slightest change. But when it stands on many strong legs, it becomes stable and resilient. The same is true for financing your social project. By diversifying your support, you create a foundation that can weather any challenge. The more diverse your sources of support, the better prepared you'll be to face challenges and continue creating impact. You may remember Diane from our introduction. Diane's project is a perfect example of how community-wide support fuels growth. As her project grew, she discovered that support came from many different places. A local business donated display materials. Volunteers shared their professional skills. Her success was built on a network of people and businesses contributing whatever they could. Customers purchased the jewelry created by the participants, and community organizations offered space to hold workshops. Together, these different forms of support helped her project become stronger and more sustainable. The lesson is clear. Sustainability comes from looking beyond funding and building a diverse ecosystem of support. As you continue developing your own social project, begin thinking beyond funding alone. Ask yourself, who could become a partner? What resources already exist in my community? Take a moment to map out the potential partners and resources in your immediate network. And how can I build a strong network of support around my mission? In our next lesson, we'll look at how to develop a sustainable financing strategy that brings all of these different resources together into a practical plan. I'll see you in the next lesson to build your plan.
Before we move on, it's time for a quick knowledge check covering lessons 1 and 2. You'll be presented with 20 questions, each with a true or false or yes or no answer. Write down your answer before the correct response is revealed, along with a short explanation. This is your chance to review what you've learned and see how well you understand the key concepts. Ready? Let's begin. Hello, I'm Sarita. Welcome back. This is Lesson 3 on sustainable financing for social projects. In the previous lesson, we explored the different types of funding and resources that can support a social project. Now it's time to take the next step, turning those possibilities into a practical financing strategy. A sustainable financing strategy is a plan for how your project will secure the resources it needs to achieve its goals over time. The first step is to identify what your project needs. Think about the activities you want to carry out. What will you need to make them happen? This could include materials, equipment, a place to work, transportation, professional expertise, volunteers, or funding for specific costs. Once you understand your needs, the second step is to match each need with the right resource. And remember, not every need requires money. For example, a community organization might provide a meeting space. A volunteer might contribute professional expertise. A local business might donate materials. Other needs may require financial support through grants, donations, sponsorships, or income generated by your project. So instead of simply asking, where can I find funding? Ask, what does my project need and what is the best way to secure each resource? Let's return to Diane Kroon. As Diane planned the next stage of her project, she identified what she needed to continue her workshops: materials, a suitable space, people with useful skills, and funding for future activities. She then matched each need with a possible source of support. Product sales could help cover recurring material costs. A community partner could provide workshop space. Volunteers could contribute specific skills, while grant funding could support larger activities or future expansion. Diane was no longer simply identifying resources. She was deciding how each resource could meet a specific need. That is the foundation of a financing strategy. The third step is to turn your strategy into action. For each important need, identify the resource required, where that resource could come from, and what action you need to take next. For example, if you need a workshop space, your next action might be to approach a community organization. If you need equipment, you might identify a potential sponsor or research an appropriate funding opportunity. A simple financing strategy should answer 4 questions. What do we need? What resource could meet that need? Where could it come from? What action should we take next? As your project develops, your needs and opportunities may change. Review your strategy regularly and adjust it when necessary. Now it's your turn. Choose 3 important needs for your project. For each one, identify a suitable resource, a possible source of support, and 1 concrete action you can take to begin securing it. This is how you move from identifying opportunities to building a practical financing strategy. In our next lesson, we'll explore how to manage the resources you receive responsibly through planning, record keeping, and accountability. I'm Sarita, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Welcome to Lesson 4, Managing Resources Responsibly. In this lesson, we will cover the importance of trust in resource management, simple systems for planning and record keeping, and how to build accountability for your project. Welcome back. So far, we've explored why sustainable financing matters, the different resources available to support your project, and how to develop a financing strategy. But obtaining resources is only part of the journey. Managing those resources responsibly is just as important. Every contribution to your project, whether it's funding, donated materials, volunteer time, or community support, represents trust. People choose to support your mission because they believe in the impact you're creating. Managing resources responsibly means planning carefully, keeping accurate records, making thoughtful decisions, and using every resource in a way that supports your project's goals. Think of your resources as water stored in a bucket. If the bucket has holes, the water slowly disappears. But if you take care of the bucket, every drop can be used to help your project grow. Responsible management helps ensure that valuable resources are used wisely and create the greatest possible impact. You may remember Diane from our introduction. As her workshops became more popular, she realized the importance of keeping track of expenses, planning future purchases, and making sure every donation and every sale directly supported her mission. By staying organized and accountable, she strengthened the confidence of her partners, volunteers, and supporters. As you continue developing your own social project, ask yourself, how will I keep track of the resources I receive? And what simple systems can I put in place to ensure they are used responsibly? To recap, remember that resources represent the trust of your community. Responsible management requires careful planning and accurate record keeping to ensure every contribution drives impact. In our next lesson, we'll explore how measuring your impact and building strong relationships with supporters can help ensure your social project continues to grow and thrive.
Welcome to our final lesson, Lesson 5, Measuring Impact and Building Long-Term Sustainability. Over the past few lessons, we've explored why sustainable financing matters, the different resources that can support a social project, how to develop a financing strategy, and why responsible resource management is essential. Now, let's look at one final piece of the puzzle, measuring your impact. People who support your project want to know that their time, resources, and contributions are making a real difference. By measuring your results, you can better understand what is working, identify areas for improvement, and demonstrate the value of your project to partners, funders, and your community. Impact can be measured in many different ways. It might include the number of people you reach, the skills participants develop, improvements in confidence or well-being, or positive changes within the community. The most important thing is to choose measures that reflect the goals of your project. Think of measuring impact as using a compass during a journey. A compass helps you stay on the right path even when challenges arise. In the same way, regularly evaluating your project's results helps you make informed decisions and continue moving toward your mission. You may remember Diane from our introduction. As her project continued to grow, she began collecting feedback from participants, tracking how many young women completed her workshops, and documenting the success stories they shared. These results helped her strengthen her project, build trust with supporters, and attract new opportunities for collaboration. As you continue developing your own social project, ask yourself, how will I measure success? What evidence can I collect to show the difference my project is making? And how can I use what I learned to continue improving? As a practical exercise, identify 3 indicators that could help measure the success of your project. Then consider how you will collect that information and review it regularly. Thank you for joining me throughout this module. I hope these lessons have given you the confidence and practical tools.
You've made it to the final knowledge check. This time, we're bringing together what you've learned about developing a financing strategy, managing resources responsibly, measuring impact, and building long-term sustainability. You'll be presented with 30 questions. Each question will ask you to choose either true or false, or yes or no. Write down your answer before the correct response is revealed, and pay attention to the short explanation that follows. Use this opportunity to reflect on what you've learned and test how confidently you can apply these concepts to a social project. Ready for the final challenge? Let's begin.
When I first began this journey, I had a dream and a passion to make a difference. Today, I understand that creating lasting impact takes more than a great idea. It takes planning, partnerships, and sustainable support. Along the way, I discovered that I didn't have to do it alone. Community partners, volunteers, supporters, and customers all became part of the journey. By combining different sources of support and carefully managing my resources, my project became stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the future. Every challenge became an opportunity to learn. Every partnership helped us grow. Every small success brought us one step closer to creating lasting change. And now, it is your turn to make an impact. I hope my journey has inspired you to believe in your own ideas, build strong partnerships, and create a social project that makes a lasting difference.